Welcome to another round of real estate interviews with local professionals. Today we have Satya and Nicole. They're second-year graduate students at the University of Washington in the Runstad Real Estate Studies. And recently they joined CoreNet for a hackathon studying workplace wellness in these COVID times. All right, welcome to another episode of Interviews with MSRE Students. Today we have Nicole and Satya, and we welcome them. And why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Thanks, Jeff. I'm Nicole Kerr, just wrapped up my first year of the MSRE program. Prior to entering the program, I worked with architecture firms for about a dozen years, and so used this as an opportunity to pivot my career to the owner side. So super excited to chat about my experience with CoreNet and hope to meet some future students soon.
Hi, thanks, Jeff. I'm an MSRE student. I finished my first year just with Nicole. And prior to that, I was an architect and urban planner and a mom of 2 kids. So I took a break for like 8 years. And now I'm back with a bang, actually. Participating in CoreNet Hackathon was a great experience, and I'm happy to talk about that now.
Great. So tell us about your team at the CoreNet Hackathon.
This was the team that we both were placed as was a completely academic one. There were like 3 universities and University of Washington, College of Charleston, and then University of Massachusetts. And we were assigned with 2 mentors, and Sophia is one of them, one of our mentor. And we kind of shaped it up with an academic approach and presented it to a panel.
Tell us about your mission you had.
So CoreNet had identified 6 or 7 different categories for teams to select where they wanted to study for 2 to 3 weeks to look at an issue of the workplace environment in the face of COVID and what that starts to look like once people start going back into the physical office. And so we picked workplace well-being as our topic, but overall CoreNet had over 1,000 participants globally. So really large turnout. Satya mentioned we were part of an academic team, but what was really interesting about the competition is that, or it wasn't really a competition, the hackathon, was that you're seeing presentations from industry professionals across all over the country in our case. And that was the really interesting thing about our team, is that you had us in Seattle, but then you also had the colleges that are on the East Coast. So you had a really distinct regional perspective to approach this problem of figuring out where do we go from here.
Great. So where do we go from here? What did you guys figure out?
Well, social distancing is the blurb. 4 parts. We dealt with accessibility, social distancing, and then the internal atmosphere, like the HEPA filters that Nicole dealt with. And then the last one was liability, which was a small piece in that. So we kind of expanded on these 4 topics a little bit and then discussed them in detail. Yep.
Yeah, so it started out as a 1,500-word submission, paper submission, and then that was followed up by a slide deck of 10 slides, and we had 10 minutes to present those slides. And when we actually presented, it was us with, I think, 6 other teams that were all also presenting on workplace well-being. And so it was really interesting to see the different perspectives that the other teams had, which were all professionals working in the industry, how that compared to what we came up with.
Good. So you think people will go back with peace of mind and it'll be a safe place?
I think one thing that's really interesting is there's still a lot of discussion of, well, will people want to go back to work? And is that unanimous across demographics and age groups? And I think from our experience, we obviously, Satya and I were the 2 graduate students, but with the College of Charleston, we were also teamed with some undergrads, and they all enthusiastically want to be back in the office. Now, whether that's full-time or a few days a week, I think you're still hearing from a lot of people that are working and a lot of people that are entering the workforce that there is a desire to go back into the office.
Yeah, in general, there's also a view that Gen Z is very eager to go back to workplace because for many reasons. Some people are like living in shared rooms. They don't have the complete setup to work from home, and they don't. And once they're entering into the workforce, they would like to have the experience of the workplace, like physically. So I hear these are top reasons why Gen Z is like very uncomfortable staying at home and working from home, and they're very eager to get back to work. That was an interesting point that I learned very recently.
Good. Well, Nicole, I heard there's a panel coming up to discuss this further and that you're on it. Can you share that about?
Sure. So first, I have to thank Dr. DeMercy for giving both Satya and I the opportunity to present to CoreNet. They had approached her about being part of this panel. She wasn't able to make the date, so it gave Satya and I an incredible opportunity to participate on panel. So I will be participating on a panel this coming Tuesday. That's sort of a recap of the hackathon with 4 other professionals who participated in the hackathon. Some of them were also in the workplace well-being category. Others were in other categories, but basically providing our insights and experience from that event. And then Satya will have the opportunity to present at a future panel. So as graduate students, it's really an incredible opportunity. One, for us to not just network within the organizations that are very, very valuable just in terms of making connections and building our network, but also to share our experience through the university and with the hackathon. So I think a link will be provided in the post. It's free to sign up, so I would encourage everyone to attend.
Yep.
We'll be sure to attach some way to connect onto that so other people can watch. Any final takeaways? Satya, why don't you start takeaways going forward?
Well, this is a big thing. Workplace well-being is the problem that's going to be there for a while, and it's all that the ways that we try to deal with this, like various approaches. There, like a tiered approach where only a number of people would be going and occupying the building at a time, and then the age groups and all these things. So it's a huge thing, huge problem, but it's what it is. So we have to deal with it. And I'm thinking, and I hear all this news when I'm in my internship as well, that all the organizations are taking it very seriously, working with their partners, with their brokers and partners to figure out a way of customizing this approach to go back to work. And also, it's also very important for the organizations to go back to work into their buildings, into the physical buildings. At some point of time, that's going to start. You'll start seeing that. So
yeah, I mean, it's a very daunting time. Obviously, a very serious time, but it's also a really great time to be part of the conversation about what the solution is, and it's ripe for innovation. And that's really exciting, for us while we're in school. You have that freedom to really think outside the box and have those conversations with people in the industry about, what does this mean moving forward, not just in the short term. I think we've pretty well defined that, but really looking forward because it's all encompassing.
Great. Well, thank you both for coming on and sharing your thoughts and experiences.
Thanks, Jeff.